Alright, so it has been a hot minute, but we're moving on now to the next review of the Marvel Darth Vader books. This one did come out a few months ago, and I haven't done a review since the Dark Droids tie-in at like June, July-ish. So, yeah. I've been following the Darth Vader books regardless of writer, and yeah, Volume 10, the 10th and final volume of Greg Pak's Vader run is out by now. It came out the last day of last year, so I'll eventually get that and put an end to the Star Wars Vader books, because those are the only books, Marvel Star Wars books I've been reading. And yeah, so this is the second to last novel of Greg Pak's Darth Vader run, which has been the longest Darth Vader run. The rest have gone to like issue 24 or 25. Yeah. Karen Gillan and Charles Schulz runs were both respectively 25 issues. And I feel like this Greg Pak's run, and Greg Pak's a great writer. Yeah, Greg Pak is a solid writer. But I feel like this comic went on too damn long. I really do feel like this comic has overstayed its welcome. And I do know the next comic will be a Charles Soule book that focuses on Kylo Ren, set between, I think, what was it? Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. I really have no desire to watch that, to read that book. Yeah. Not because, it's sequel trilogy and all that. No, Kylo Ren. Any interesting thing you could have done with Kylo Ren got murdered in Rise of Skywalker. So I really have no desire to watch that. And also, if I'm being honest, for some reason, I'm just kind of falling love out of Star Wars. I mean, I still like it, but I'm not in love with it as I used to be, and it's kind of sad. It's not because, I think Star Wars has gone woke or anything. It's far from it. The fact of the matter is that I just find it's just nothing's grabbing me as it used to. I don't know. I still like Star Wars, but not to the level of the way I used to. And I feel like I'm just finishing the Darth Vader books just for completionist's sake at this point. Anyway, having said all that, let's talk about Volume 9, Rise of the Schism Imperial. So, this comic comes hot off the heels of Dark Droids, where Vader is now facing a new threat that has come from Sub-Administrator Sly Moore, who's the Umbaran who was part of Palpatine's entourage. She's now been basically building a traitor legion of the Imperial of the Empire within the Empire, of former people who have been wronged by the Empire, and now want to work with Vader in order to put him in power, or so they claim, and kill the Emperor. They want to, make the Empire great again and all that shit. So, Vader is on board, and also has now another group of elite warriors that serve his every will. This time, cybernetically enhanced rebels that were filled with droid pieces that he now mind controls. Can we just say that that's been a running thing with the Vader books? Is that they all, ever since, Karen Gillan's run with having Vader, Vader have his own team, which was, Afra, BT-1, and 000. Everyone's tried to do that again. Charles Soule, at least, in his Vader books, it was the Inquisitors, and that made sense. Greg Pak keeps doing that. Greg Pak keeps giving Vader, his own strike team. First it was Death Troopers, then it was, Sabi and the handmaid, and Padme's, handmaidens. Then it was, droids. Now it's these cyborgs. I'm like, dude, come on. You can't, this is the 10th time we've done this. Also, this whole thing with the Schism Imperial, it really feels like last minute. This is the end of the comic, my guy, and now we're doing a Imperial Civil War after everything. And again, it's another story of, and I know Greg Pak was not responsible for the Crimson Dawn and Dark Droids. That was all part of an event. But it really does feel like we're dealing with another secret clandestine group within the Empire who's going to uproot it. We just did that. But Greg Pak does have a good voice for Vader. I think he does have a solid tone for the character. I also really do think that he does have a genuine understanding of Vader at this point in his life. He knows his son's alive. He knows that, the Emperor is not his the Emperor and him are not friends. This is the way of the Sith. But yeah, it feels like too little too late at the end of this book. I do also like some of the members of the Schism Imperial, like Captain Fabian, who is an Imperial, but he does care. Like, he got busted and thrown under the bus for something he didn't do, and then a Baron proceeds to demean him as like some ticket taker. And then he also cares about the reason why he didn't carry out the mission that got him bumped was because the Emperor wanted him to kill a whole block of civilians, and he refused because he was trying to protect civilians. So I do like that. And there's also a great moment where he confronts the Baron again, and he's just like, will that trigger you have kill millions? And he's like, yeah, but you need me. He's like, not really. And just guns him down. The characters themselves are all pretty interesting, and this uneasy alliance between everyone, we all know where this is going. I'm sure most of you do, because the 10th volume is already out, or you finished the book. Yeah, but it doesn't, this just feels like it came out of nowhere, and now it just feels like it like we're rushing to the end of a story arc that just felt like it was built up last minute. Because I don't know if Pac had this in mind the whole time. There are elements of the comics throughout, but there's no mention of this. There is really cool for Vader Return of Exegol, which was shown in Volume 2, Into the Fire, which I really liked. And I'm not saying this was a bad series. I'm not saying Greg Pak's Vader was the worst. I'm just saying this really does feel like it's it's thrown together last minute, and there are even characters that show up that get immediately thrown to the side. It just feels like this is what Pac was wanted to tell this story the whole time, but between tie-ins and other stuff, he just was bogged down. I mean, there's 3 straight volumes of this comic where it's all tie-ins to the Charles Scholl Crimson Dawn trilogy. So Pac really wanted to do more of his own stuff, and now it had to get ended by issue 50. So he's racing to do this Imperial Schism story. It's not bad, but I am just kind of I just want to end the Vader series, which is Volume 10, Phantoms, which is out. I'm not going to be racing to get it anytime soon, but I do want to finish it and review it for completionist's sake, because I've been reviewing the Darth Vader comics since 2015, for 10 years now. I've been doing these Vader comic reviews since for 10 years. I want to, get to the end of the Marvel Vader comics. Anyway, so there you go. Do I recommend Rise of the Schism Imperial? I mean, it's very connected to everything else, so if you haven't been reading the Greg Pak book, I wouldn't start here. But it is a solid story. It's just too little too late, and I feel like it's just going to be a mad dash to the end and be a little unfulfilling at the end, but we'll see. Anyway, so there's my review. You guys tell me in the comments below if you've read it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.